Good morning, good morning, good morning. Happy Marketing Monday. This is your girl, Torri Hammond, and I am your certified business coach as well as your Meta certified business marketing associate, digital marketing associate. And this is Marketing Monday. Man, and I am so excited to be here with you guys on this morning. And so let's get ready for an amazing Marketing Monday. Drink some water. Get this voice together. Happy Monday. I hope you guys are doing good on today. Listen, we are in the fourth quarter stretch. Man, and things are just definitely heating up as we think about the seasons that we are shifting into. And so we have been talking about ways that we can, plan and ways that we can prepare for the season that is ahead. And, I've been trying to keep you guys motivated. And so I just want to take a second and say, hey to the Mavens. Hey, Mavens, welcome to the live. For those of you that are on YouTube, hi, YouTube followers, make sure that you like and subscribe so that you can join me every Monday as we get into this. For those of you that are on my personal page, hello, and make sure that you are, commenting, interacting, sharing. We want to make this a time and space for us to grow together as business owners. Also use this time to network. If you have a business, make sure that you pop it in the comments so that we can support you. Let us know who you are, who you be, how you move, what you do, and how can we connect with you. And so, again, this is a space where we can come together as business owners and learn and grow together. So I've been trying to keep you guys motivated as we shift into this next season of business, as we shift into what are we doing to prepare for the holidays and rolling into 2025. And so if you haven't had an opportunity to see some of my previous videos, go back, take a watch at a few of them. But today I just want to do a push. All right. So today I just want to do a nod and a push to what we have to do in order for us to be successful as we move in this season. And this is a word that is swirled around and used a lot. And that word is consistency. Because it is one of the most important things that we have to do in order for us to do business well. Man, listen, and it was one point in time where I used to say that consistency is best friends with just us moving our feet. And so sometimes we gravitate towards the wrong friends, right? And then we tend to lose focus. And we lose our consistency. So I'm going to say consistency is best friends with momentum. We're going to also talk about momentum on today. And so if consistency is best friends with momentum, I need to be best friends with them. And not the ones that keep us distracted, right? All right, so we're going to get into it. We're going to talk about consistency and how it is the key and how it is imperative to our business growth, because consistency is the secret sauce. All right, so when you think about that, what does that mean? We wonder how some people are successful. We wonder how people are relevant, right? How they go viral and how they are so popular, and how is it that they have so many comments, so many likes, so many shares. We wonder if it's something that they're doing that is different than what you're doing. Sometimes it is, but sometimes it isn't. You're wondering if it's because of the behind the scenes things that are going on, and sometimes it is, but sometimes it isn't. At the end of the day, the secret sauce of it all is consistency. Are they being consistent? And that is the thing that we fail to realize and see when we are looking for motivation, when we are looking at other businesses just to see their makeup or their markup, or even in the midst of us just being on social media, because I know a lot of us are. And sometimes we can get distracted, right? And we can get held up in the isms of looking and not looking to learn. I always tell people it's okay if you look, but make sure that you're looking to learn. Sometimes we get caught up in the isms, right? And in the midst of those isms, we think that a person is successful for one reason or another, but it could very well just be because they are consistent, because consistency is the secret sauce. I just let you in on a secret. Yes. Consistency is the secret sauce. So you're going to see me shifting my eyes because my printer is acting crazy. And so I could not print my notes this morning. And so I'm going to be shifting my eyes. And so don't mind me as I shift my eyes, but I just want to stay accountable to my notes. All right. And so again, let's talk about it. So consistency being the secret sauce. And so let's think about this. How does that show up? It shows up in every area of our life. So whether it's in business or in relationships or in this walk that we're doing, right? As we're moving forward to pushing into the things that God has called us to do in this season of business, consistency shows up in it all. And so staying consistent in your marketing efforts, though, is imperative. Why? Because it helps your algorithm to jump on to what you're doing when you stand in a state of consistency. Also, consistency ramps up your engagement with your customers, and it speeds up the know, like, and trust factor as we move in business. This nods to consistency. And so it also points to what you want to see in the long term. So when you think about your marketing strategy, have you marked out your marketing map? When you think about that, consistency moves you to the end goal. It also speaks to the long-term goal. And so if you understand that this week we're going to work on this, and this week we're going to work on that, and this week we're going to work on that, and some people even roll it out for a whole quarter, it speaks to the long-term goal. And so with that being said, we have to understand that here goes that word, that second word I spoke of. This is how you get consistency that creates momentum. And when you think about momentum, it's moving. And so when you start showing up consistently, even in the small efforts, I think about the book, The Compound Effect. If you haven't read The Compound Effect, it is a really good book to read. It talks about how you can take one penny and add another and add another, and over time it'll build. And this is momentum and movement. And so even the small efforts, and so every post, every email, every conversation with your customers builds that momentum. And so when you think about it, the things that you do for yourself, whether it be to pour into yourself, whether it be to study to show thyself, not just in business, but in life itself, and you make a habit of it, it begins to create a momentum in your life through your habits and the things that you do habitually that helps you to move towards growth. Self-growth as well as business growth, because how many of you know that you're only strong as your best self? And you can only build a bigger business with a bigger mindset. You can only build a bigger business with a bigger mindset. And so I want to encourage you to momentum. How do we do that? We do that by what we do daily. I call this your daily strategy steps, your DDS. How many of you remember Marketing Matters? I think I'm going to resurrect it towards the end of the year so that we can get ready for 2025. I don't care. Marketing Matters is timeless. And so your DSS is your daily strategy steps. What are your daily strategy steps? What are you doing daily that will help you move? What are you doing weekly, right? And as you're marketing monthly, what are you doing to commit to posting? And this is important. And so I want us to begin to create a momentum. And so I post every day. And what does that look like for you? For some of you, it could be 3 times a week. It could be 4 times a week. Hope it's a little bit more than that as a business owner. But how often do you post? And so how often do you speak to your customers? And so again, it's the do what you can until you can do what you couldn't. Because I know some people have time restraints and things of that nature. But again, it's about tapping in and definitely being intentional. All right. And you got to start. And so again, it's about starting. And so even if you nod to your consistency and your momentum, and you do at least one social media post a week, I'm going to encourage you to be faithful, and then do 2 the next week. We're going to compound, and then 3 the next week, and then 4 the next week. And then there goes that momentum that will keep that habit, that will cause you to be able to post on a daily basis. All right. And so we got to do it. And let's pop it in there. And so God reminds us not to be weary in well doing. And so we've got to understand that if we're going to reap something, my pastor has been talking about harvest all month long. And we've got to understand if we're going to reap something, we've got to sow something. And so we have to think about what we're doing as creating that momentum in our lives. And as we showing out for ourselves, we're planting seeds that ideally will reap a harvest in a season, right? And so we've got to not give up. And we've got to stay focused. It's easy to lose focus in the likes, in the shares, in the comments, and things of that nature. But again, you've got to nod to consistency and momentum, right? If you put it out there, they will come. They will gravitate to it. You got to understand there's an algorithm that is watching your consistency and your momentum. And if you want the algorithm to pick it up, you've got to play around with your content. You got to be full in. You got to play around with your content. You got to play around with what you're posting, right? You got to do the give before you ask. And you also have to peek to people's senses and emotions. And so you've got to do those posts that motivate and inspire, make people laugh and things of that nature. It's work, guys. And it speaks to the consistency that creates the momentum that we want to see. All right. So we got to do that. All right. Also, in that, consistency builds the trust that you need. Trust is another form of currency. All right. If you are vibing with me, we talked about momentum, and now we're talking about trust, because again, it's that know, like, and trust factor that is important to your business growth. When you think about dating, we've got to learn how to date our customers, right? It's a process. People just don't just like you because they know you. They may know you and just know nothing about you and don't dislike or like you because they barely know you. And so again, it's the showing up that gets people to not just know you, but to like you, and not just like you, but to trust you. And you've got to show your customers to see your business and consistency. This is what builds trust, right? When they see you, they feel you. When they feel you, they support you because they understand the value that you add. They understand your values, your morals. They understand your isms and why you move and why you do what you do. And ultimately, we can't forget this: people buy people and not so much things all the time. And so if you have a thing, you become the person that they gravitate towards you to show the thing that they need to see in order to move them to a purchase. For your coaches and your authors, it's the story behind your why and what you do. All right. And so again, it doesn't have to be complicated. It just has to be consistent. It doesn't have to be complicated. It just needs to be intentional. All right. And so there are ways that we can, do this. We can pre-record. We can also schedule posts. There's a lot of things that we can do to nod to momentum. We've got to study how we can do business better. And there are resources out there that will allow you to do it. And so we got to be intentional. Pre-record. If you need to schedule your posts, you can do it right in Facebook, or you can use one of the other sites that kind of help you to connect all your social media channels, and you are able to schedule your posts. You do have to nod to your organic movement, and that is your organic posting as well as your organic commenting as you are interacting with your customers. All right. And so we've got to be consistent, and not just consistent, but faithful to our movement if we have an expectation of growth. All right. All right. And let's move into it. Consistency leads to growth. Consistently leads to growth. And so when you think about the compound effect, again, as you compound and compound and compound and compound, it gets bigger, and it leads to growth. And so consistency doesn't always bring instant results. We talked about this, but over time, small, consistent efforts creates significant growth, right? And so we started with a penny, and now we have $100 worth of pennies. Listen, right? And you can think about this, right? Now we were posting once a week or once a day, and now we're posting 3 times a day, 4 times a week, 5 times a week, 7 times a week, right? And we've got to do it, right? We got to be intentional about it. We all get up and brush our teeth, right? I talk about this. We brush our teeth. Yeah. It's something that you had to learn to do. You didn't come out of your mother's womb knowing how to brush your teeth. You were taught how to brush your teeth. And then you were taught why the habit is important. And you picked up the habit. And now you brush your teeth consistently. And so what does this mean? You can teach yourself to do something. And whatever you teach yourself to do, you can become consistent in doing it. Also, take a second to track your actions. We have a business, a habit tracker. Man, listen, this is just, it's good to me. And Marketing Matters has a habit tracker. I'm going to have to, resurrect Marketing Matters, but nevertheless, get yourself a habit tracker. I don't know. I may do it for a freebie download on mavens.com. Make sure that you pop. We have free downloads, but I just may stick a habit tracker on there for you guys for a digital download. But make sure that you have a habit tracker so you can track your efforts as you move along. And so you can also in that speak to your momentum. If you want to be intentional, as you track your habit, you can track your outcomes from your habit. And this will give you real-time data for you to be able to tap into as you look back over what works and what doesn't. All right. And so we've got to stand in it. And also we've got to, again, like really understand that you're doing this for a purpose on purpose. All right. All right. And so let's round it up with this. Consistency requires commitment and discipline. And this is super, uber important. And so even though consistency can be hard work, it is definitely worth it. It is definitely working and it's worth it. Okay. Since that word wanted to come out, let's put it in the atmosphere. It is definitely working, but it is definitely worth it. And we cannot forget that. All right. And so again, it requires discipline, commitment, willingness, faithfulness, diligence. It requires all of it, especially when you don't see it. Right. And that's faith. Right. You step forward knowing and not necessarily seeing. Right. And you got to be consistent. I talk about this in the book, in my Go and Grow book. You've got to be committed to doing the work. You have to work while waiting on opportunities to show up, knowing all things are possible. Right. Through faith, willingness, and diligence. If you don't have the book, get the book. I usually have it sitting right by me. But I created these cute little QR code cards where you can, and I don't know if it's going to work for you guys to see it because my lighting, QR code, I created this. This is definitely a game changer. Creating the QR code for the scan to get the book. The book is on the Mavens website if you don't have it. I maybe tell you about that QR code on another Marketing Monday. But let's stay to what the topic is today. So it's about being consistent. All right. And so again, give yourself grace if you struggle with consistency, but learn how to recover. Right. And so it's recovery is good. Right. How can you recover the moment? How can you recover the day? How can you recover the life? How could you recover? Right? Figure it out and then recover. Right. And so you've got to build a habit. You've got to create the momentum, get into a routine that will help you to stay on track. All right. Some things that we can do. We can definitely time block. Right. We can definitely get an accountability partner. That's super important. Get an accountability partner. And also you've got to be committed to yourself. And so I encourage you to celebrate your wins, whether they are big or small. Give yourself grace, but make sure that you don't give yourself grace when you need accountability. I'm going to say it again. Don't give yourself grace when you need accountability. All right. You've got to be intentional. purposeful in your movement. All right. And so let's stay consistent in the season as we push towards bigger business growth and also to long-term success. We've got to make sure that we understand that it's going to take time. All right. And we got to keep putting in the effort. All right. And so make sure that you are intentional in the season. I hope that something that I said definitely helps you to move in business. Listen, think about this. Consistency is the bridge between the start and the breakthrough. Listen, God blesses the steady hands that we use to build over time. And I say this all the time: when God sees, he sends. Oh man, listen. Don't forget to go to mavensandmarketing.com, get your Go and Grow book. Make sure that you like, subscribe, and share. This has been an amazing Monday. Make sure that you are commenting, tuning in, and if you are replaying, make sure you hashtag replay so that I can know that you are vibing with your girl. All right. Again, this has been Marketing Monday. I am Torri Hammond, your Meta Certified Digital Marketing Associate, your Certified Business Coach, and I will see you guys again next Monday. All right, guys. Bye.